Hi, my name is Eddie and this is How to Get Living. Today I'm going to talk about the dopamine reward system. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. It's a chemical that's in your brain. And when you do something that makes you feel good, essentially, the dopamine level in your brain has risen. Laughing releases dopamine. Sex releases dopamine. Eating sweet and fatty food releases dopamine. All kinds of things do. When dopamine levels rise in your brain, the neural tissue is sort of bathed by the dopamine. Whatever circuits, whatever neural circuitry was active before the dopamine level rises is strengthened. The connections between those neurons grow stronger. That means that behavior is strengthened. It's rewarded. It becomes easier to do that behavior. Think about it this way. Think about like an animal. Think about a monkey. And it finds a tree that has ripe fruit. Eats the fruit. The fruit is sweet, has sugar in it, and that tastes good and it feels good. The monkey's dopamine levels rise. Whatever activities, whatever behavior the monkey was doing just before it eats the fruit get reinforced. And that means that the monkey learns to find fruit and eat it. Okay, that's a very, very simplistic model. Let's look at another version of that. Let's look at methamphetamine. When you use methamphetamine, your dopamine levels spike massively. Okay, and so whatever someone uses methamphetamine, whatever they were doing just before they use it gets reinforced. And what are they doing? Usually they're doing drug-seeking behaviors. They're calling up someone who has the drug. They're going to a place to use it. They're using it. Now, this is how you get into a pattern where someone has a really, really bad addiction, because they can learn to steal and cheat people and rob people. And that creates a pattern of behavior where stealing, robbing, and cheating people actually becomes reinforced. It becomes easy to do that kind of behavior. That's a very destructive pattern, and that's part of why drugs like methamphetamine are so dangerous, because they reinforce the behaviors that have occurred just before getting the methamphetamine. And now I'm going to talk about how you can use the dopamine reward system in your own life. What I want you to start doing is become aware of activities that you engage in that will release dopamine. Research this, but also just notice when you feel good. That could be having a cup of coffee in the morning. That could be eating a cookie. Okay? Something of that nature. I want you to look for places in your life where you're doing something that you enjoy that are going to release dopamine. Now, take note of where they are, and I want you to start adding in something a little bit difficult just before you do the dopamine releasing activity. Okay? So if you get up in the morning and you have a coffee, just before you have the coffee, make your bed, or clean your room, or do 10 push-ups. Just create a little bit of a game, have a challenge, do something that you know is a bit difficult, just a little bit. Don't reach too hard, just a little bit difficult, and then give yourself a reward. Okay, set it up so that you do your 10 push-ups, you make your bed. Apply rule number 1, get a little better every day. Think about, what am I trying to work on? What is a habit I'm trying to build? Do that habit and then immediately give yourself a reward. Okay? If you're going to have a cookie in the afternoon at work, then select something. Schedule your day. So something that you want to do that's difficult, that you've been avoiding, do it, and then have the cookie then. Get into this pattern. Make this a habit. Challenge, reward. Challenge, reward. You'll notice that there's people around who just can do difficult things. They don't seem to find it so hard, and often what you find is that they have learned to set up their life so that they have this pattern: do something challenging, then have a reward. What that has resulted in is that they can do challenging things. It doesn't feel so challenging to them. I was recently talking to a client about studying. He's sort of middle-aged now, and he's gone back to university and he's studying. And he told me that when he was a teenager, he found it really, really difficult to study. And he had this pattern when he would start studying, get really frustrated and bored, and then play video games. Okay, so what he'd done is he taught himself to give up. He taught himself to quit studying by rewarding himself by playing video games. Video games definitely release dopamine. Playing computer games is exciting and fun and releases dopamine. So what he does, he reinforced a pattern where he didn't successfully complete studying. The pattern he'd reinforced is to give up studying and then play the video games, then give himself a dopamine hit. Okay, and so what I suggested working on is to deliberately schedule a time where he studied, even if it's just for 10 minutes, but complete something, complete a chapter, complete one paragraph, and then play video games, then look at his phone. Okay, and that's starting to rewire that habit. Okay, apply rule number 1 a little bit every day. If you're working on studying, study for 15 minutes. Do something so that it's a little bit challenging, not too challenging, otherwise you won't make it, and then you'll reinforce not making it. You reinforce it's too hard. What you want to do is stack up something that's just a little bit hard and then give yourself a reward, and then apply rule number 1. Slowly build over time. What this is going to do is it's going to increase your self-discipline. Okay, increased self-discipline leads to being able to create good habits in your life. So to summarize, note when you're getting your reward, when your dopamine levels are rising, and then arrange your day, arrange your time, structure your time so that you're doing something challenging and working something that's a little bit of a challenge immediately before the reward. That's going to strengthen that behavior. So in the short term, that's going to strengthen whatever behavior it is you're doing, whether it's studying, cleaning up your room, doing push-ups, doing something difficult at work. But over a long period of time, over a period of years, that's going to just build up that ability for you to have self-discipline overall. And that's going to be very, very useful on your journey of self-development. I hope that was useful to you. My name is Eddie, and this is How to Get Living.